I love all these horses, and I want to keep them forever. They are my family. Every one of these horses now, even you, Denny, because I'm not back big money for you. Every one of them will be mine forever. When I say mine forever, it might get to a day when Hoper's 18 or 19 and he needs to go and be retired somewhere. I've got people all over the world who want to retire my horses and just look at them in the paddock, but they'll always be under my care. I will not profit from the horses that are in my team. If they were to be given to someone, it would be a gift from my heart to theirs because they mean that much to me. But when I say I love them all, thank you. I want you to know that I put a lot of pressure on other trainers when I say that, but I'm in a different line of work than a lot of other trainers. Other trainers have to make money other places. They have to sell their horses. They have to train horses and give them back. I don't. I develop my business so I make enough money to keep them. That was very powerful, mate, and you're going to be schooled for it. Mate just said, I'm going to kick you, and then I'm going to go home and sleep. He's like, mate's very much like that big gym junkie that is on steroids all the time, and he goes in and lifts one big weight and then goes home and has a rest. Have a look at him being grumpy in the middle. Look at Denny. I'll just do a little as possible. Look at home, lazy Americans. Have a look at them, they're not even having a try. And look at Spino just ticking over. You watch how easy those horses can afford. This one does it as easy sideways. What I was saying, I love them all equally. I'm worried about all of those because I love them. But this horse that I'm on, he scares me. How do you replace one like this? They're just not made this way. But those other ones are giving their best also. This one's just a little better. Look at Hope, I love him. He's got his two imaginary friends riding in the middle. Look at Ozzy busting his neck. He's cantering there. His feet say he's trotting, but he's cantering. It's so funny. Everyone says Ozzy's got such a personality. It's only because I give him one. He'd rather sleep. So now I'm going to press a little more and just go a little harder, boys. You can just see the energy levels of these horses and where they go. The ones with the least energy pick the middle, the one with the most on the outside. Here we're going to start and I'm going to see who's the biggest teacher's pet in the team. It's a race. Here they come. Ozzy's on the inside because it's the easiest way to go. Hope comes up on the outside. He's getting up. He's about to bite mate as he comes around the corner. Here comes Hope, my number one. There's a reason I call him that. Here he is, number one. You right there, do you need a rest? Poor little fella, do you need a bit of a wipe down? Look, don't talk about me like that. You're going to put him right on the outside. Now, he was clever. I mean, he wouldn't have gone there. Look, he's got to work the hardest now. Mate goes, I should have rethought my process. Mate's the sort of fella that goes, I tell you what, if it's a 3-lap race, I'll meet you on the 3rd lap. He's such a funny boy. I'm so proud of him. You know, I rode to the horse when I met these two boys, Mate on the furthest away and Ozzy close. I fell in love with the look of Ozzy. I mean, I wanted to have a horse that would fit in my team. There was a dun horse there. Oh, sorry, Danny, was you in there? I couldn't see you. You were very good, my little boy. Isn't it nice that I can bring a foal along? No, boy did. So I go with Ozzy, and I've looked at all the pedigrees. Ozzy was by Paddy's Irish Whiskey, who was by Peppy Sandbadger. And I asked the wranglers, I said, who do you think would be the best horse for the competition? They said, well, I think that little buckskin horse, you know, by Sugar Ray Bob, I think he'd probably be the best one. I said, what do you think of the bay horse by Paddy's Irish Whiskey? No, I think he'd be a nice horse, but you don't want him for this competition. I say, oh, but he's pretty. Because that's how they say pretty in Texas. But he's pretty, and they say, well, you won't like him properly for 3 days. Well, they were right, because he was really difficult for 3 days. So what I did was I asked them, last year at Road to the Horse in the World Championships, and for those of you who don't know what Road to the Horse is, it's a 3-day competition that we take a horse that's never been ridden. They've been taught to lead, but only a tiny bit as a 6-month-old. They get pulled around a little bit in the halter, and then they get tied to a donkey for 3 days. I want to talk to both the donkeys that train my horses, because they didn't do a very good job. The donkey with Ozzy, he taught him to lie, because he says, "I'm fine, get on." And then I got on, he said, "I'm not fine, get off." I did, and I stayed on. But with Mate, they told me he'd be the best horse, he would be really nice, and probably the easiest of the crew to do the competition with. So I picked him, and he was very difficult. He didn't want to move, which is very true to his desire levels today. But he's doing a nice job. Danny being a big boy. Danny's a big boy in a Shetland's body. Danny, that's not going to work with Hope, sweetheart. It's a good try, but that won't work with Hope. If you'll notice what Danny's doing, he's leading out with his head and neck, trying to tell Hope to run away. He's saying, "Hope, you leave and I'll follow you. Go on, you leave and I'll keep him occupied while you run off to the stables, and then I'll come follow you." Ozzy goes, "I'm not listening to you, you funny talking little fella. You just stay there, because I'm not getting in trouble for you." Look at him trying to push him out. He did that with Mate last weekend or 2 weekends ago. He said, "You leave, Mate, I'll follow you." So Mate left, and he went, then he come and sucked straight up, and he said, "Look, Dad," he left, "I'll get him." He did, he pushed him all the way out like this, pushed him off the edge of the cliff, and then said, "What a bad horse, I can't believe he did that."
Excuse us.
As I was saying before, I get started on things. People say to me, "Guy, we love the fact that your shows are always different." And I said, "That's because I can't remember what I did last time." So I was talking about why I have all these horses, and it's because, yeah, that's right, I was saying to you, is because so I can keep them all. So they are all very valuable to me. I have 30 horses worldwide now. A team of mares in Australia. I have 2 teams of horses here. Pride and Sequel are resting in Texas. Pride and Sequel are my number 3 and 4 in my Australian team. Hope's my number 1. There's a reason why. Denny's bip is broken. You've got to do everything your own way, haven't you? I'm worth $1 million on land. Come on, Dan. I'm going to just work on this little bit of outside look that he's doing. Danny used to run off bad. He would run off, he would work with me like a cutter, jumping back and forth, and he would run into and knock into those horses and try to make them move. When they'd run away, he'd stand still and laugh. And he thinks he's very funny. Dan, come on, you can run a little harder than that, because I know you've got more energy. And I need you ready for the red foo in case he rides you. So you'll notice that when the other horse isn't there, that Danny isn't pushing anybody out anymore. He likes his imaginary friend on the outside loop. So now I'm going to see, actually let's show you, let's see what happens here. This is the exact position that Danny will sometimes do his tricks. I'll leave Hope there. I bring these other 3. So you just watch Danny here, because he likes to talk to Mate, because Mate's only young. He's only a 4-year-old and he's still very impressionable. Mate says, "You took me away last time, let's go together." Oh, Danny's not going to get in trouble. Danny thinks he's a show horse. He plays up at home and works good in the show. Get a little closer. Mate's just allowing, in case I get another horse, there'll be a space for him. When I put a cue to that shoulder, I want him to come a little closer. That's a pretty neat job, boys. Good job. And so this is definitely what I do at home. At home, I'll even put a little more pressure on. I'll go a little quicker, and I'll try and find holes. Danny's good. He's like a bit of Swiss cheese. He's got holes all in him. You see the holes real easy with Dan. But I look for the things they cannot do until I find that eventually there's very little they cannot do. If we go in and we only look for what the horse willingly gives, he will only willingly give so much. Horses aren't born saying, I want to be a world champion reiner. Horses aren't born, Nate was not born saying that he wanted to be ridden bridleless around an arena on the third ride of his life to win a buckle. But he did it anyway because I said to him, mate, it'll help us if you can do that. You know, people seem to respect world champions for some reason. So I'm going to leave him there. You'll notice when I put my hand on the heads of those horses, they say, connection gone. When I don't put my hand on their head, I'm saying, follow me whenever I ask and stay with me always. The problem we have with that is if we don't have an off cue, they're going to follow us all the time and then not know when to quit. Hi, Dennis. He won't take his eyes off me, which is pretty cool. He says he won't take his eyes off me until I turn my back. So I'm going to bring Mate over here. So you'll notice he's real calm to come with me, and then the moment I put my hand on his head, I'm saying, save yourself for me. We're going to come and bring Danny. When I raise the whip, I'm saying, connection back on. Connection back on. Come over here. I was a little bit worried up to only 2 weeks ago whether bringing Danny along would ruin my reputation as a high-level horseman, but he's just been awesome for the last 2 shows, and I'm so terribly proud.